Hey YouTubers, we're back. So, we spent hours building this next project for you guys, and somehow our camera died and all of our footage crashed. We have a little bit of video that we're going to upload to show you some parts of it. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys what we built, then we'll go over and I'll show you the material you need and how to do it again. And then I'll show you the other finished clock that we had all filmed for you guys. But instead of just not showing the video, we're going to do this way so you get the ideas. And if you have any questions about this build, just comment and we'll tell you what we did. So what we were so excited to show you is this is our next build we did right here. Okay. And this witch clock was a lot of fun to build. We realized it didn't take a lot to build it or a lot of money. It's just time. Okay, so I'm going to have my wife pan back over here. And I'm going to show you the material that we used and how we did it. And I'll show you the other witch clock that we built that we're so excited to show you guys. Okay, so I'll start with, obviously, we have a heat gun and a glue gun. We have the pan because we like to speed stuff up, and we set each part of the project as we're doing it in the pan, so we can dry stuff faster. And then stuff we gotta glue on. It's a lot faster using the glue gun than it is trying to use glue you squish out of the tube and have to wait a lot longer for it to dry. Okay, so how we started this whole project, if we had a foam skull or head. What we did is we took plastic wrap and we took some grease, and we took the grease and we rubbed it all over the head. Then we put plastic wrap over it so you could make the form. Next, we took paper in strips and just Elmer's glue in water and stirred it up, and then we put the glue a little bit at a time on spots, and then we glue the paper, and then you attach the paper. Then we like to speed stuff up, took the heat gun and dried it all out. We went back just past the ear, and why is because we want this witch, when it's all done, to be able to sit against the wall.
And you could use a blow dryer. I found out one thing. If you look at this skull or this face, where I overheated it and melted it, so my husband was kind enough to get it off of the mold for me when it was finished.
Which is no big deal, I guess, but the skulls ain't that much.
And I also made sure and did the bottom of the halfway part on all of it,
the bottom,
past the ear, on the
Next,
whole thing.
While my wife was doing this, I just took simple tin foil, pulled out a piece, then you lay your hand flat on the tin foil, trace around your fingers, and you get the form of your hand. Then you just crunch up tin foil and fill in on the hand a piece of tin foil. Then you just crunch up and shape it to the form of a hand. What we did then is we took our homemade paper mache mud, which there's a lot of different videos, YouTube videos on how to make your own paper mache mud.
And on our first video, I have a link on how to make that mud.
Yes. And the same thing for the homemade clay.
Yes. And I'll put a link for that.
So, when my wife was putting the glue and the paper on this and showing you how to do this part, you get the basic form. Then she'll come back with this mud, and you just do a light skin coat around your skull. You let it dry, and then you do one more so it's strong. Because this, you're going to pop this off after the glue and the paper and the mud. And then you'll have just this front section of the mold. On the nose, you just take, hold on a sec, take our side piece here. just a thinner piece of cardboard. We used a Pepsi box. You cut a little piece out and you form it just over the nose right here.
Not
Then
past,
you can put
right?
tin foil onto this cardboard.
So you don't want to go past with your cardboard, past
Yeah.
the nose.
However you guys want to do it, I guess. But this is
Yeah.
how we did it. So we put the cardboard, cut out a piece, put it here, and you can add your tin foil to that, and you can make your nose however big or that you want it. I did the same thing for the ears. I took a couple pieces, cut them out, and just made some shapes for the ears. Hot glued them onto the mold. Then you can take your paper mache mud and you can go over that, and you can go over your nose. Then you make any shape that you want. Then you'll take your homemade clay, and you can come back and you can make your eyebrows, or if you want lips,
Onto your mold, yeah.
onto your mold that you've popped off of this.
Right,
Okay.
right.
So next, after he's having all that fun, I took the tin foil hand that I made, and you take your clock and you form the hands
Like,
while
should I
they're
show
in
'em
tin
on
foil.
this?
Yes.
So we'll show you on this clock the
While
way
your
it,
hands are in tin foil, you shape them the shape that you want, how you want your hands to be on the clock.
see how we did that?
So they turn out like this.
Because you want them around it, because once you get the mud on it, you cannot reform them.
Yes,
Once
once
that
you put the
dries.
mud, they're going to be where they're at. So when these hands are dry and all mudded in and your head's all done, you're going to take and hot glue these hands right directly to the clock.
Right, on the sides.
On
Here, I'll do
top-
a close-up of that. See how they're just glued right on there with the hot glue? We used Gorilla Glue, by the way. Gorilla Glue sticks, just to make sure they stay to the metal.
Yes. After we made the head, because it's lightweight after it dries, at first when you do this stuff it seems real heavy, but after it dries it's really, really light. The hat is just made out of the thin cardboard and paper, so it stays light.
Yes.
And then we just made some paper hair.
Out of this one, it was the raffia, like a hula skirt from the Dollar Tree I cut apart.
Yes. So everything's real light. This one I put a hole through it and through her head to pin it into the clock. Cause this was our
The
first,
wooden dowel there.
the wooden dowel. Cause this was our first one. I thought maybe it needed that, but what I've realized on the next one that I'll show you, all you gotta do after it's done is just put drill a hole in the back side of the head, and you can just put a screw in and hang it, or you could put those
the command
the
strips.
command strips,
Yeah.
so you don't have to put a hole in the wall.
Yes.
That's all there is to
And a
this.
command strip would be a very good idea because they're not heavy when they're dry all the way
Yes.
at all.
Down here, we took simple cardboard, and you cut out the shape that
To
you
make it
want,
look- yeah.
and then you take just plaster Paris, skim over your cardboard.
Yeah, just mud compound, the joint compound
joint
in the
compound.
bucket, wet.
And what it does is it'll give you a look of wood. And as it was wet, I came back and just put lines so it looked like the board, individual boards. Then we just took the string from Dollar Tree.
Oh, don't forget, we did the edges of it too, so when you flipped it like that, it would stay looking more like wood.
Yes.
Okay.
Then you come back and you just paint it the way you want it painted. We put foam skulls on this one right here to hide where we hot glued this sign to the clock.
Yeah, we just took the hot glue gun, as you can see, and just glued that string
Those
onto
little
that
Dollar
twine.
Tree skulls.
Yep.
Okay, on this one, well, obviously you can see this is how we painted this
And
one.
you could turn it on too when you're ready.
So the 12 to 3
For 3 o'clock.
for the witching hour. We got a remote right here. We just bought some of those simple cheap lights like I explained in the video that got lost. And we took the clock apart and we painted everything, and we put lights around it and just hot glued them into where we wanted them.
Yes. And we put a spider web in there.
Yes, and you can decorate how you want. We put some
Mm.
spider webs in this one, and we put a little skull over
From the
here.
Dollar Tree, just painted him up.
Yeah, it's a real fun build. It's real easy to do. The other one that we're going to show you in a minute was a little more complicated. Took same process. We just wanted
Kicked it up a notch.
Kicked it up a notch. We just
Yeah.
wanted it a little
Yeah.
fancier, so you can see like a cuter version, and the other one's a more scary version.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
So this is definitely the more family-friendly version.
This
But I love it too.
is your all-purpose compound, so
You just want that. All-purpose compound.
okay.
That's how we did that sign,
And just,
remember?
when you're doing your water and paper and glue, it's just simple Elmer's glue. That's
Yep.
it. You don't need nothing expensive, just simple Elmer's
Yep.
glue.
Yep.
Okay, back over to where we was at. Now what we did on this other one, which we're going to show you. Oh, first
Sorry, our
let me
TV's on,
explain
guys.
this to you. Okay. You're going to take a piece of cardboard, and when this is done and you cut it out, take it off, you're going to cut a piece of cardboard that fits the back.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And you're going to use two pieces to glue it together, two of these, so it's
Yes.
thicker. And what that does is when you put
On
glue
your
here,
mold, when your mold's popped off.
yes,
Yeah.
it'll fit
On your mold.
in
right
the back
there.
side of the heck. You're just going to have this front section of the head so it can stay flat against the wall.
Yes.
You're going to glue that cardboard so it sits inside there. Then you can trim off any excess. That way you have a spot where, like I say, you can drill the hole to hang it on the wall.
Yeah. Gives you like a nice finished, and then and it gives you a nice finished back for your project. It really looks better.
We try
And
to throw
easier
some
to
Dollar
hang.
Tree stuff in there too for you guys. Okay.
Okay. This is from Walmart though.
This is those little 3D window clings you can get from Walmart. It's only $1.27. What we did on this next clock, I'm going to show you, because I want you to see this. When you see the clock, you wonder how we did it. You can get different pictures at Walmart. So, now I've showed you the clock. I showed you how we've done this one.
Okay, you guys all got a good idea, we hope. There. If there's something we miss, feel free to comment.
Yes. Hold on 1 second.
Yeah, you guys feel free to comment and let us know if there's something you need to know or anything we could have left out. We'll be happy to explain it to you.
Okay. On this other clock we're going to show you, we use those simple Dollar Tree fencing.
Yeah, this is one this is one we did.
This is on the next clock that we're going to show you. So we can show you everything because, like I say, a lot of our footage got lost. So we took the bones out and the skulls, and I'll show you what we did with those in a second on the next clock.
I'm glad you remembered that, yeah. Definitely need to
Okay.
know that.
So I'm going to show you the next clock. But I have to unplug my camera and walk over to the clock that's on the wall so I can show you the other one. Okay. This is the other clock that me and my wife built. It took us days. And this is the footage that we're so frustrated with that we lost. This clock is done the exact same way the other clock is. This one's just a little bit bigger because this happened to be the other clock that we found at a thrift store to rebuild this again to show you guys. So this one's a little bit scarier. Same process, same paper mache head. Put a hole in the back so you can hang it. Just a little bit bigger clock. We got the witch tower just like the other one down below. And on this one, my wife put a spider right here from Dollar Tree or Dollar Store. Whatever,
Yeah, I can't even remember.
that made it a little fun, and she repainted it so it looks more
You can get those
realistic.
anywhere. Luckily, you can get those anywhere, right?
Okay, this one, the original was painted white with the cracks. But after we got together, we didn't like the looks. We went back and took the brown paint and water and diluted it, and then rub it on your witch, and then dab it with a paper cloth. And that's how we got this effect. Why we went this one with the green eyelids and the orange eyes, because it stood out in the hair, because the rest of the clock was so dark. So that's how we went with this one. And that's how some of our ideas started coming together, how to build this particular clock. So the fun one with this one, here's that 3D hologram, like I just showed you, for $1.29 at Walmart. We cut this one down and stuck it in here, and made the hands look like old bones out of the Dollar Tree
Fencing, right?
fencing that we showed you. Then we just glued them on here to what we liked. And then my wife came back with just some old jewels, old cheap necklaces now, and cut out some of the little pieces and stuck in the skull's eyes.
Oh, it's cool, you guys.
The neat thing about this one, then we bought an 11-foot section of lights, just the battery lights, and it happened to go around this clock twice, so it worked out awesome.
Definitely if you're doing a bigger clock, you want the 11-footers, trust us.
And do the same process, just take it apart, put them in, glue them where you want them. It made it look so neat on this clock, because with this being 3D, when it's on at night, this skull just gives it a lot more effect, and the little jewels she put in these eyes of the skulls, they glow almost like they're really alive.
Yeah, so cool.
So we love pirate movies and stuff, so we thought this was kind of cool. It gives it effect. You have the jewels, and so this is the finished product that we so wanted to show you guys.
Oh man, you guys.
Every step of the footage that we just lost, but we thought we'd put this on here because we know people love to build stuff. People like to make stuff that's not so expensive. And that's why we're so excited about this clock. So that's why we're just showing you this anyways. And like I say, again, if you have any questions,
Do you want to turn it on for him?
Yes.
We'll turn it on for you.
Okay, so we're going to turn this on and show you, and it looks so much neater tonight. But check this out. And obviously you can put your little battery pack wherever you want. We just stuck a little tack on the wall there to hold it.
Yep, and we just set a little thing there. Yeah, look at that. See, and at night, the jewel, you can even see on the camera, I hope you can see anyways, is the jewels lighting up with the lights on even more. And if I would have done if I would have had like an orange and a white one, like a clear one, maybe that would have even done better, because the orange really shows up good.
So if you guys like what we build, and you enjoy the fun stuff like we do, we love Halloween, we love Christmas. We're going to do a ton of Halloween builds, which we got in mind, which might not be all right now because we got so much to build, and we build for Christmas too, so we'll have a whole bunch of fun Christmas ones we're going to do. And I think we're even going to throw in a couple things for Thanksgiving, and heck, maybe a couple things for Easter. So, if you like what we did, please like and subscribe, and share the heck out of these clocks if you think there's other people you know that might want to build something like this. Okay, guys. Until next time. Recording? Okay. Okay, YouTubers. We're going to start with the hands on this witch clock. So what you need is your tin foil. What you're going to do is take your tin foil. You're going to put your hand on the tin foil. Make sure it's big enough to go around your hand. Then you're going to take a pencil and you just want to scribe around through your fingers.
So it doesn't need to draw.
So it doesn't need to draw. It just needs to be able to scribe around so you can see where your fingers are. Okay, just so you can see your handprint. Then you're going to take your scissors and you're just going to cut out that form. We're going to get rid of some of this tin foil.
While he's doing that, I'm just going to keep drinking my coffee.
Funny, these scissors don't want to cut through tinfoil very good. They must not be very good scissors.
You want these other ones? Go. Try those ones. Is that better?
Yes.
I don't know if you guys can hear that whining, but that's one of our puppies, so just so you know. If you hear a little whining, it's because we've got a little bit of square bugs. Come here. She probably wants to be in the video.
I want to be in the video.
Yeah, she probably does. You okay? Oh.
Okay. So now you got your basic hand cut out. Go ahead and leave what's in between the fingers, because we're going to cut down in between the fingers and help use that to wrap around the tinfoil that we're going to put inside the fingers to form the hand. We'll just form each finger, so we got all the fingers. Okay. No more tinfoil, we gotta get the thumb. Okay, so we got the flat piece of tinfoil we cut out in the shape of your hand. Then we took aluminum foil and we rolled them up. Like so, just into little pieces like this. Then you place those to each finger, depending on how long your fingers are. Next, I'm going to take the hot glue gun and I'm going to glue these down onto the flat shape of your hand. Then I'll be back. So in between time, I'll have my wife come talk to you. Okay, we're back. So as I was saying, I went and I glued these fingers down onto that flat piece of tinfoil that we shaped the hand. Then I took a couple pieces of tinfoil and made them into the shape put in the hand right here. So basically I put these in the palm part of your hand. So you gotta fill that out, this palm part of your hand, so it looks like a full hand. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go glue these down and form it a little bit, and I'll come back and show you what it looks like. And in between time, my wife's gonna start showing you how to build the witch's head.
Okay. Alright. So, where you going to get started then? My turn.
It's your turn.
My turn. Okay. I forgot to tell y'all, you're going to need some shortening. Doesn't need to be name brand, just some shortening. And we're going to get started doing this. So, here's my shortening. Here's my foam head. What I'm going to do is I am going to get in my paper towel here. Okay, so I got my paper towel, and I'm going to take and get some shortening, and what I'm going to do is rub it all over the head. Not a huge thick layer, but a good layer, because we're going to put the plastic wrap over this. So you want to make sure that you get all of these crevices like so. So we're going to do that, and that's what I'm going to do. And instead of watching every minute of me shortening the head, like, make sure you get, before I come get this part done, I want to show you this. Make sure you get in the creases of the nose and the mouth, every crease there is on this, because you're going to need the whole head. And you want to shortening a little bit back right here. Just come a little back from the ear. Got a piece of my hair in it, don't know how. That's interesting. Anyway, come back a little bit further than the ear, about right there, because it's just gonna be a half head, so it's gonna sit flush against the wall, if that helps you guys out. Anyway, so I'll come back when I put the plastic wrap on and get this all shortened. Alright, we will be right back. Alright, so I've got the whole head shortening. And then I'm just going to take some of the plastic wrap, kind of make it long enough to go over the whole head, the first piece there. And I'm going to cut off, okay. And I'm just going to go over the front of it first. Make sure that you cover it really well. This part is going to take a little bit of time, because you want to make sure you get into all those creases like you did in the shortening. Make sure that it's flat, as flat as you can get it. And kind of flush with the nose and the eyes. And underneath those nostrils there, just make sure it's flush. Just rub it in there. And I'm going to cover the whole head with plastic wrap. So make sure, like I said, that you get your ears and all your crevices. This part's important. And when I'm done getting this all completely wrapped with the plastic wrap, I'll be back to show you the next step. Okay, so I wanted to show everyone this. This is what it looks like when it's got, I don't know if you can see it clear, but I went ahead and plastic wrapped the whole head, even though I didn't mean to tell you, I forgot to say, when we paper mache, we're only going to come back that far. So I wanted to make sure and show everyone to go ahead and plastic wrap the whole head. Sorry that I forgot to say that. And just make sure you got your forms good. You can see that it's all formed in, and even the bottom. So I just wanted to show you that, guys, that. And it doesn't, when you do the plastic wrap, you don't have to do it in a certain direction. Just so you got the whole head covered as smooth as possible. Okay, we'll be back in a little bit to show you the next step.
Okay, we're back. So this is what you should end up with. So we started out with tracing our hand, putting the foil pieces in between all the fingers, building up the center. And then I took a longer piece of tinfoil and wrapped around the whole hand, crunched it in. And you should end up like this. So we don't bore you guys to death, I'm going to do the next hand, and I'll be back and show you the next step. Okay, all you crazy, awesome YouTubers, we're back. So this is day 2 of the build. Me and my wife have been sitting up all night long to think of some different ideas for this switch to give you guys. I'm working on it all night so we can get to the next steps. So, without further ado, let's get started.
Okay, so what we're going to do is I've got all these paper strips cut. Newspaper, whatever thinner paper you can find that's good for, and we're going to dip it, and I just added a little glue, some Elmer's glue with a little bit of water. I didn't make it really too thick, but it's kind of like a little thinner than pancake consistency. So this is the part where we're just going to go back to here. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to need a longer piece. I'm just going to take this long piece and I'm going to dip it, this over here, in the glue, like so. And I'm just going to clean that off, make sure you've got it all wet, and then I'm going to take your foam head and start gluing out, start putting it on. Now I'm going to come back one strip from the ear, just to be on the safe side, and you'll see why when we get to that part. And I'm just going to push it down really well and form it to the foam head, all the paper, as good as you can. You want to make it good and sealed well. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'll show you a couple strips with it again. I'm going to go over there. Now on the ear part, I'm going to push it down around the ear so I can get that form. And then I'm just going to do the same thing, but just make sure you're forming your seams. And when I get, and I'm not going to mud anywhere, but just one strip past both ears. This side and this side the same. And I'm going to do the whole face and the whole head though, the whole rest of the head from the ear all the way forward. And I'm going to go all one strips one way, and I'm going to go again, and I'm going to dry this, and I'm going to go across the other way just to get a good bond. And when I get done with all of this, I'll come back and show you the rest of it. Alright, we'll see you in a little bit.
Okay. So we got our tinfoil hands that we made. And here's our clock. What we're going to do is take these hands and we're going to form them to the shape that we want. On the clock, so it looks like the wedge is holding on to the clock. So you can shape these however you want. Then after I form the other hand, where I want mine, we'll just start mudding the hands. But make sure that you put the hands on your clock, form them to the shape that you want first before you start mudding them, because after you mud them and they dry, that's where they're going to stay.
And while he's doing that really quick, I just want to show you guys also, I forgot to say, you're going to go the whole head, and you're also going to do the very bottom. You need to make sure that that bottom part's halfway past the ear as well. Or do you, yeah, you paper mache the whole thing?
Yes.
Yeah, so you want to do the whole thing, right?
No.
No, just still past the ears, but then
But you
right
still
to
got to
here.
do the underside halfway too, just like the rest of it.
Okay.
Okay, so here's how I'm going to shape my hands. So now I'll move the clock out of the way. We're just going to take the same paper mache mud that we used on the last project, and we're going to mud these hands. What I like to do is put a light skim coat on so much, dry it a little bit, put some more mud, dry it. You could probably do them all and just let them dry, but for us, we like to speed the process up so we can show you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and mud these, show you, put a little bit of mud on them. I'm going to use the heat gun, try to dry these out, get them done so we can get on to the next step
So
and
a
show
heat
you
gun
guys.
or hair dryer will make
So
it
heat gun
faster.
or a hair dryer. If you don't have a heat gun, use a hair dryer. It'll just help speed up the process. But if you don't want it, you could just mud them, let them dry overnight, or put them over a heater vent with a box. I'd act like a heater and dry them that way. So what I'm going to do is we're just going to move this clock out of the way. But before I do, what we did here on this clock is we already went ahead and took the screws out from the back side to show you, so you can take the cover off and you can take the glass off. That way when we get to that part, we can show you how we painted the inside and where we set the hands and how we decorated it. Then after you're all done, you'll just put it back together and put the screws back in the back. So let me just move this out of the way. Get the good old trusty mud. Okay, we got our butter knife, we got our mud, we got our hands. So we're just going to take our mud. I like to do just a little bit at a time so I can kind of control where the mud's going. And just, this is kind of tedious, but just take your time. Fill out your fingers. Make sure you don't get it too fat. Too much mud so your fingers look fat.
I guess unless you want fat fingers.
Yes, unless you want your witch to have fatter fingers. But I like my witch to have a little bit more bony fingers, if I can.
Yeah, I like that too.
And it is tedious, but once you start getting the hand done and start drying it, it starts taking shape and looking like something.
Yeah, it's really neat after.
So just keep slowly putting a little bit. Like I said, I like to start with the fingers if you can. Then you can go ahead and start drying those out a little bit, and it gives you something to rest the hand to hold on to. So you're not sticking your fingers in all the mud, because trust us, we've been there, done that a few times.
Quite a few.
So after I get one of these hands mudded in a little bit and dried a little bit, I'll come back and show you.
Alright, so this is what I've done so far. I did the paper mache, or not the paper mache, I guess it's just the paper and glue behind the ears so far back, underneath, okay, so far back, and then I've laid all the paper one way and I dried it. Now, I'm gonna go across next with the paper, same concept, only I'm gonna go the other way. Now, spots like that, the little spots that you miss, you'll cover it with your next one. So you don't have to worry too much about those, because I mean, look, I've got a gap right there. But when I go back over, it'll cover it. So, a little tip that I just found out is when you're doing this and you're drying it, be careful with the heat gun. Make sure you come back far enough because foam does melt. So if you're using a heat gun, be really careful. Also, when you're holding on to it and you're drying it, always have a little bowl of water so you can rinse your fingers off, because if you don't, what happens is the glue in your paper mache, it runs, and then you go back and you touch your fingers on it and it sticks to it, and it pulled some of my paper off. So just so that same thing, if it hasn't already happened to you, which I apologize, just so you can take a note of that. Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and go across all the way, and I'll be back to show you when that's done, and we'll start the paper mache. We'll dry that, and then we'll get this off and we'll start the next process. Okay, see you in a minute.